The Ekranoplane, and ladies and gentlemen, one more time. Done and done. Last I left off, I got all the decals on, had to let that sit, make sure everything was dry. Went back in with it's a kind of a combo mix. I use a matte varnish, and then I also use basically I want to say a semi-gloss. So you're going to have a flat semi sheen to it. This way the way the light hits it, and I think it turned out pretty darn slick. Very subtle weathering. When I say weathering, the shading of the panel lines. So when the light hits it just right, you should be able to see different shades in the panel. But other than all, it's a pretty cool looking kit. My only really complaint with the kit was just getting it off the trees. I think they should make the sprue attachments a little bit bigger so you can snip in there. But very nice kit. I mean, very little sanding, and went together really quick. I mean, it just very simple construction. Anyway, not very cool. Of course, the stand I think adds to it. I think everything should be displayable, especially on a desk. I'm a big fan of I won't say desktop models. I think should be able to display everything, but pretty darn slick. So we are good to go. I'm going to go deliver this weekend, so I'm just going to let it sit on the workbench, let it dry, make sure everything is dry, and then I'm going to go deliver this weekend, and we'll continue on with King 9. So, King 9, again, when I was doing decals, decided to do both at the same time. I sealed it with a flat varnish too, but as you can see, got all the decals on, which I should have shown last time. I got the propellers on, which I haven't glued them on yet. If you look real closely on the pictures, one's intact, one's bent. I just bent that up. Got to put the decals on, but I did get the tips painted, and then I need to weather the plane, but I got to weather the plane once I get it on the ceiling tile, because it'd just be easier, and I can see where it, it'll have basically attached to it, and you can work on it while it dries. The ceiling tile started out with a vinyl mat, and I had to blend the mat in with the ceiling tile, but I needed something light, kind of like spackle, but like plaster of Paris, but I didn't want it crumbling, or I wanted a little bit of flex to it. So I made a modeling paste basically, and I just used baby powder and white glue. Mix that up with a little bit of, and you can put paint in it, or and I used a little bit of, I call it craft sand. That's where you can see the lighter color. It actually dries basically real hard, like plaster of Paris in a way, but it's got a nice little flex to it. So anyway, I wanted something light. I didn't want anything to absorb into the ceiling tile, and crumble it, crack it, break it, or anything like that. So anyway, I put that on there. It dries rock hard. I mean, so no moisture really to speak of to suck into the ceiling tile. Got that all. I got that on the other side like so. As you can see, it's two different colors. I got to repaint the whole thing, so I ain't too worried about it. I'm just trying to get all the get everything blended. And then I'm going to go in and basically we'll take another deal of white glue, brush it on, and sprinkle sand. This darker color here is what I'm trying to accomplish. Get that on there, and we'll detail it out. But I got to get the plane on there probably this upcoming weekend. I should have this done just enough to where I can get it attached, and then we can start working on the ceiling tile and really get it going. But I got to paint it and all that. But anyway, we'll get there. So that's what I've got going on today. King 9 slowly taking shape, and we finished off the Ekranoplane. So that's what we got going on today. So stay tuned for the next exciting episode.